All right, so this is our introduction to our channel. Welcome. You guys can listen to this on Spotify, YouTube. What other platforms is there?
iTunes,
iTunes.
Anchor, all the
All right.
major podcast platforms.
Yeah, so if you guys are watching this on YouTube and you want to listen to it on Spotify, you can do that. Just search our name, The Stock Bros, and it'll come right up. But basically, this is our first video, and we are going to talk about really our introduction and why we started investing, how we started investing. So, Tony, do you want to start that first? Or?
Yeah, so we both started in around June. I started June 1st. I know we had the market crash in March, which was, I believe, the biggest market crash ever in terms of how fast it crashed. Yep. And I've always wanted to invest, and I took that as an opportunity to start investing. So on June 1st, with no experience and not really researching anything stupidly, I opened up a Robinhood account. Robinhood is an excellent app. It's very easy to use. It's great for beginners, but there's not a whole lot of information on it. So if you don't really know what you're doing and you're just buying random stocks, it could be bad. But luckily, because I bought stocks when everything was down, pretty much anything you bought in June went up, everything, because the market was down so low. So I bought some airline stocks. I bought some blue chip stocks, Ford, GE, stuff like that. I kind of got lucky because I sold them off before there was a crash again. But I had no experience, no idea what I was doing. And now I'm almost 7 months in. So now that I'm 7 months in, almost 7 months in, we have so much more experience, and we learned from mistakes that we made. So we just want to help people learn from our mistakes so that they don't have to make our mistakes.
Yeah, and I just want to build off. I want to build off that because I think a lot of people, when the market crashed for coronavirus, that's when a lot of people started investing. And I still think a lot of people who started investing then still have like no idea what they're doing. They just kind of bought random stuff. So this video is. Go ahead.
I believe it was like 3 million investors in that first month.
Yeah, which is crazy. And there's still a lot of people who probably didn't do much research and just kind of bought like the popular stocks like Tesla and stuff like that. So yeah, this is for anybody that just wants to learn, or if you're new, anything like that. So yeah, I started investing the same time that Tony did. And investing,
I got him, and I got him, my girlfriend, our mom investing like within a week after I started doing it. Yeah. But so go ahead.
Yeah, so investing is never really something you're taught in school. And the internet, you can learn anything on the internet. Anything you learn in college, you can learn on the internet. Anything you learn in high school, you can learn on the internet. It's all there for free. So it's not really something you're taught in school. Neither is financial literacy. But I'm lucky enough to have Tony got me into this at a young age. I wish I could have started even sooner, like 18. So does he. But yeah, if you're watching this video, you're probably here because you want to learn how to better manage your money, invest. And you're in the right place because we've learned so much. And if you guys want to learn more, just make sure you subscribe, and we're going to be coming out with a lot of more videos too. So,
and leave comments for anything you want us to cover. I would say, so I'm 33, and Andrew's obviously a lot younger than I am. He's 22, and 22 is a perfect time to get into investing. If you're in your 30s, obviously you start a little late, but it's not impossible because you'll be working close. For 30 years. Yeah, plenty of time to accumulate a lot of wealth with all of the compounding interest that and the benefits you get from the stock market. So anything else you want? I was going to say the other thing we wanted to talk about was the fact that we both have Robinhood accounts. So I'm 6 months in, and we'll throw it up on there. 6 months in, I'm at $5,740, starting at zero. And every week I would put in a couple $100, couple $100, couple $100 there, couple $100 there. Some weeks I can only put in $20, but I was able to accumulate $5,740, and with a profit right now is $790. So up about 16% all time, which is well above and beyond the benchmark.
Yeah,
So.
and I'm up about 200 in the past 3 months. So I mean, you guys gotta think that this is for the long term. You're not unless you just get really lucky. You're not gonna make like $10,000 in a day. This isn't. We're not those type of investors where we're trading options and doing stuff like that. We're more of in it for the long run, and that's sort of our strategy. But yeah, let's jump into segment 2 if you wanted to start that.
So today, the thing that we're going to cover today, the topic we're going to cover today, is the things to do before you invest. Now, some of these are recommendations, but we're strongly recommending it. I don't want to sound hypocritical, because some of the things we're talking about are things that we both have. We both have student loan debt. We both have other debts, but we're still investing.
Well, that's the thing that we've learned. We're learning from our mistakes, and we're giving out the information so people don't make the same mistakes as us. Mm-hmm.
So the three things I want to emphasize today is, before you start any investing, create a budget for yourself and know what your income is and what your expenses are every month. So, if you're spending more money than you make, then it's probably not a good idea to invest, right? So create a budget so that way you can figure out a percentage to invest that you can comfortably invest. So that's number one. Always start with a budget. Number two is probably the most important thing, which is you need to build an emergency fund. You need to save a minimum of 3 months of expenses in a liquid savings account that you can access immediately. Not a money market account. Maybe a high interest savings account's fine, because you can get to that money within 5 days, 6 days. But you want to have, cash is king. So you want to have at least 3 months. And now, because of COVID, it's probably better to have 6 months, as we're seeing. And which leads me to my third point and final point is, the average American only has $3,500 in their savings balance. Now, this is inflated because the statistics include the top 1%, which are people that make roughly over $400,000 a year. So if you take out that 1%, it's a lot less. In fact, some of the statistics I found on Motley Fool, and there's a lot of good sites Market Watch, there's a lot of good sites you can look this information up. This one's from Motley Fool, is 40% of Americans cannot afford a $400 emergency. 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. 25% of Americans have no savings at all. Nothing.
That's insane.
So this is just absolutely horrendous news. It's bad for everybody. And you need to start by building an emergency fund. So the money you have in the stock market, you don't need to pull it out, because you're buy and hold strategy long term. That's what we're going to be preaching.
Yeah.
So
all right, go ahead.
So, well, that's my second point. And then my third and final point is, before you start investing, do what you're doing now. If you're watching this, is do your research. Learn what you're going to invest in first. Don't take anybody's word for it, as gold. Don't just listen to us and then just go do it. Listen to us as a resource, and then look it up for yourself so you feel good about what you're investing in. So that's another huge thing that I didn't do at all. I didn't do any research. I did have a good emergency fund. I already have a budget, so it was fine for me to invest, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So learn what you're doing, research. There's tons of sources out there, which we'll probably do in another video. So, but that's my final point on my things to do before you invest.
I want to jump back into the point of emergency fund. The reason people don't have an emergency, you need to build an emergency fund instead of swiping your credit card. If there's an emergency, you want to use that. You don't want to have to swipe a credit card and go into debt. So I just wanted to point that out really quick.
Yeah, and if you have $1,000 a month in bills, you should have a minimum of $3,000 in a savings account.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens, you're going to be okay. You'll manage for a while.
Yep.
I would recommend 6,000 to have 6 months, but at least if you have 3 months, you're doing pretty good. You're a lot better shape than most of America.
Yeah, start out with even 1,000. Like if you have nothing right now, try and build it up to even 1,000. Have something. You don't want to have nothing. You don't want to have to swipe your credit card. But yeah, so let's jump into my points now. So yeah, don't invest if you have tons of debt. If you have if you have a car loan, credit cards, like 3 credit cards that you're paying down on, and a bunch of other debt, you don't want to just start investing. You want to, because let's say you have a credit card that's a 24% interest rate a year. What stock are you going to get that's going to give you a 24% return? Like, it's not going to happen.
Very few. Yeah, so it's a gamble.
Yeah, so pay off your credit card debt first, or if you want to invest, put like 90% towards the credit card debt and then 10% towards investing. But don't do it disproportionately like that, because you want to be targeting the credit card debt more so. But on to the next point. So one thing that I learned that I wish I do, I'm in college right now to be a teacher, but I really wish my first 2 years I went to community college. But there's sort of a stigma out of high school. You got to go to like community college is not like a good thing. Like, but it is in the end, because 4 years down the line, you're gonna be laughing at your friends who have like $100,000-$200,000 in student loans. So don't really care about what others think if you're young. And also, I want to say the federal government giving out loans to financially illiterate 18-year-olds is an absolute joke, because your decision-making part of the brain isn't fully formed until you're in your late 20s. That is a fact. I learned that in high school. I learned that in college. I read it online. So like, when you go to buy, when you're first getting like your first job, even in high school, it's a new thing to you. It's a novel thing. You have money. You want to just go buy stuff, and that will carry on. And that, coupled with your decision part making in your brain not being fully formed, is not a good thing. And that's why people have take out car loans at a young age and do stupid stuff like that. So just try and save your money. Try and buy cars with cash if you can. Try and buy phones that are a year old. It'll save you a lot of money, and you'll be thankful for it. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And here's the other thing. Like, a lot of people, I have a car loan, I have student loans, but if you have the extra money, which I'm fortunate that I do, and you want to invest, you can cut down on other things and invest. Instead of eating out a lot of people eat out a lot. Instead of spending $100 a week eating out at restaurants, take that $100 and invest it. You know, and buy your groceries, and that's a way you could save money, and then you have extra money to invest. But so go ahead. That's my plan.
I think, let's see. Oh yeah, this is pretty much, I think, my final point. Don't buy things if you can't afford. Don't buy something you can't afford with a credit card. If you want to buy $1,000 phone and you want to put it on your credit card, make sure you have that money in your bank to pay it off like immediately. Don't do stupid things like that, because those little things add up. When you have a bunch of loans and a bunch of credit cards, they may be small payments, but they all add up, and that interest adds up. So that's my last point.
Yeah. So that's what we wanted to touch on today. Is before we start talking to people about investing, is we want to tell people what you should do before you invest. So that's basically what we wanted to do as a first video.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so you guys like the video, subscribe, leave comments on what you want to hear in the future. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and one other thing, I think it is. What other thing? There's one more, right? Or no?
We're basically on every major podcasting platform. So
gotcha.
Pretty much anything you listen to, we're on it. Spreaker, Anchor, everything.
All right.
So episode 2 is going to be, we're going to talk about how the stock market became the stock market, what the stock market is. And I'm going to break down 15 common stock market terminology, phrases or words that you should know before you start investing. So
yeah, and then I'm going to talk about how the stock market came about and why it's even a thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So enjoy the video,
All right.
drop a like, and that's it. All
And
right.
don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, that was pretty good.
All right.
Hopefully it comes out good.